watching this show. This is not for children. What's going on, my brother? You know how we usually do this at a random times. We should do this every Wednesday and Sunday, and then end of the world started. So we're like, you know what? Let's just get in where we fit in. How you been, bro?
I've been good, man. For whatever reason, you decided that you want to do it on Tuesdays now, so that's what we're doing.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, because
I've been.
Wednesday seems so far away, dude. Like when you're doing nothing, you know what I mean? When you're just binging and trying to stay away from people. So fuck it. Even though today I hung out with some family, which was nice.
Did you work?
No, I haven't had to work in a while. I think I worked like last Wednesday, and then I hadn't worked in a couple, like probably like 10 days before that, just because surgeries are still they're not taking elective surgeries too often, unless like completely medically necessary and facilities and stuff like that don't want to take the risk. So it's been a little hit and miss, but it's all good.
Yeah, I had to mute the mic for a second there because my dog is acting retarded again. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, I mean most little dogs do.
All right. I think. Yeah, I think that's better. So,
Yeah, yes, that's a lot better.
I don't know, man. It's a good thing. I guess for me, it's pretty much a day off every day, even though I work because I'm working from home. I
Right.
don't every day. I know one
Mm-hmm.
of these days I'm gonna wake up on a Saturday at 6 in the morning and boot up my computer, thinking it's just another work day,
All right.
and then my wife is gonna come down
Yeah.
here and slap the shit out of me and tell me to go back to bed, and then I'll just do what she says.
That's so aggressive. That's so aggressive, man. She would
God,
just
I haven't
she
even
she
started
would
drinking
just
yet.
go. She won't just say like, "Hey, what are you doing? It's Saturday." She's gonna smack the shit out of you.
No, you're
Like
right,
that's
but she
you
probably
gonna
will
put her on
smack the
blast
crap out
like
of me
that.
now for me saying that. Now I probably will get smacked. No, she'll probably just be like, "Hey, baby, come back to
Sunday,
bed."
John's gonna have a black eye. Yeah, Sunday, John will
Hey,
have a black eye. Nice, nice old shiner.
yeah, and it won't be from falling off a mountain bike.
John,
Speaking of,
what'd you say?
I said, and it won't be from falling off a mountain bike.
Yeah, exactly. It won't. You didn't walk into a door. It's because Mel put her hands on you.
Nah,
Right?
nah,
Like
we
let's
have a
just
loving relationship. But speaking of mountain
said
bikes,
every
man,
person in the
it said every person, every battered
yeah,
spouse, said every
yes,
battered
yeah,
spouse
yeah,
in denial.
uh, ever, yeah, ever.
Hey, actually,
Yeah,
before we even
so
start talking about mountain bikes, I wanted to put something out there. Okay, your
what up?
brother, uh,
It's his
Big
birthday.
Josh, Big Josh, he is
Yes, sir.
volunteering to put up an
Be on
OnlyFans
OnlyFans.
page. Yeah, so
Yes, yes, he is.
he is going to be for $50. He's gonna get on with a Mario onesie. For $100, he's gonna have a Princess Peach onesie, and then you guys can work out the details from there.
I
But
feel like
Josh Pastor is putting
I
up
feel like
a
he already. I feel like he has the Princess Peach onesie on at all times anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Wouldn't be like a big factor for him. Dude,
yeah,
he's 26 today. Well, yesterday in Japan, but today here.
yeah, he's living in the future.
Motherfucker's 26 years old, bro. Yeah, he's in the future, so he's already 26 years in one day. It's fucking wild,
Happy belated
dude. How?
birthday, you old fuck. You're
Yeah,
almost 30.
you old. Yeah,
How come
you
your brother
old
looks
young
like he's
fuck.
still 15 years old, man? That dude's
I know,
he's
right?
got a baby
Motherfucker
face.
does
He
not
looks
age.
like yeah,
Yeah,
like
dude, it's so fucking wild.
he,
But
he
yeah,
looks like he looks like a middle school kid who's about to go through puberty or he's going through puberty early. He's bigger than all the other kids because he
yeah,
doesn't look like he's older than 14, 15 year old. Not even. He's like maybe 13. You look at his face.
he he looks like he could be on 21 Jump Street if everybody was blind. You know what I mean? If they didn't see him, they're like, oh, okay, he looks like one of us. No, no, he's not clearly because he's still 6'2", so it's ridiculous. You would know nothing about that, John. I want to get the short jokes out of the way early.
Really.
You know nothing about being 6'2". Yeah, 5'2", 5'3" is your home. Just stay home with it. Two step. But
5'2"
yeah,
now?
man. The
Five
reason why
like you
John,
keep the more now I'm 5'2", not even 5'3", 5'4". Jesus Christ.
I mean, listen, dude, you're gonna have osteomalacia, which is the softening of your bones, and your spine's gonna condense, and eventually you will be 5'2".
I feel like
Sorry,
you
I had
go
to
out of your
break
way
out a
to
little.
look up these medical terms just so you can fucking get your
No,
short jokes in there. Not because you're in a medical
I'm a college
profession.
graduate.
Get out of here.
No, it's I'm a college graduate, so you put some fucking respect on my name. It
And it
might not
doesn't
be
help, man.
FSU. It might be Kaiser. It might be Kaiser, but I still learned some shit. You know what I mean, dude? So
I'm
the reason why
putting
John brought up
yeah, go ahead.
the OnlyFans website is recently become. We talked about it at the end of the last show, right? I've recently
Yeah, we
become
did.
kind of completely addicted to mountain biking, right?
You
Like
have.
just biking in general. Yeah, I have. And then for some reason you want to get permission from your wife to buy an $1,800 bike. What the hell's going on with that? Are you
Hey,
gonna start a only?
you've become addicted to mountain biking. Big E Tank Vallejo has become addicted to making short jokes about me. He just rides on your coattails. He's like your hype man.
Yeah,
He's
that's
over
right.
here like
He's
no,
Flavor
he's more
Flav.
like four. He's more like 4'11". That's my brother, by the way.
I know.
That's what I got to deal
It
with.
really be the closest, it be the closest ones to you, bro.
I know.
Those are the ones that hit you the hardest.
They do, don't
I
they?
mean, your other brother
Bastard.
wants to kidnap people's kids. Your other brother wants to kidnap people's kids, dude. I remember when Eric John was, I want to say, dude, I don't remember how old he was, like maybe 7 or 8, right? And he's like this monster of a kid, and he's still a monster, right, dude? And you would like try to calm him down, but you're looking at him eye to eye, so it was very uncomfortable. I was like, how can you be stern with him if you guys we are the same height? You know what I mean? It was fucked up. Shout out to
Ah.
my boy Eric John, solid with the memes,
Oh yeah,
solid with the memes. Eric John.
his meme game
Oh,
is fire. But
yeah.
so anyway, you're trying
Much,
to get a mountain bike, right? What price range are you looking at?
yeah, dude. Listen, I'll be on, like, full disclosure. I did not know how expensive mountain bikes were. Shout out to the fact that Eric John still hasn't sent me anything about any used bikes in Miami, so he forgot about that. He had 2 days and he's failed at that, but whatever. So I'm like right now. So my bike, the one that I got from Walmart was about 180, right? Because I was like, let me see if I really like it. Haven't
Mhm.
really ridden a bike in over 20 years.
Right.
Haven't really needed to because I've had a car. So I was like, all right, let me check this out. Then I got on it. I was like, okay, this is cool. But I'll tell you what though, man, like you notice a difference, like kind of immediately when you go over bumps and like the seat is not as solid. Cause dude, my ass hurts, son. Like my ass is bruised. I'm gonna be honest. Like I might be telling you too much, but I don't care. Like it hurts to sit down sometimes because the seat, like no cushion to it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So like as
Yeah.
soon as I get out, I immediately regret it. But eventually it just goes numb and I'm good. So I was like, I got to figure out like a seat because I didn't know like how much you could do to a bike. Like you could change out the saddle, which is the seat, the handlebars. That's another thing with my bike. I can't adjust the handlebars the way I want
Right.
because the bolts that are on there are already threaded. Don't know how. The bolt that's supposed to use it, so you could like adjust the height, which you wouldn't have to worry about. I mean, so you have to like adjust the height and all that stuff. Like doesn't move. Like it's just a bolt there for nothing. So just like learning and watching more YouTube videos about it, and then trying to adjust my bike to make it more comfortable. It hasn't happened yet, but I mean it's a solid bike. And I give it a solid like 4 out of like 3.8, 3.9 out of 5.
Look, man, don't feel bad, by the way, about not knowing how much it costs to get into the bike game. Because yesterday I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to Walmart and get myself an $80 Walmart bike, so I can get on the trails and test it out and see what kind of bikes I need for these trails. And Tony, I'm gonna
Yep.
put him out there because I can.
Yeah.
My oldest son
He's your son.
says he goes
Yeah.
he goes what
Stop, bitch.
$80? Why don't you get yourself a $30 bike? And I'm like, what? Do you know how money works? What kind of world are you living in, dude? A 30. What? I mean, look. We bought our niece a bike for her birthday, with the little training wheels. She
Mhm.
was 2 at the time, 3. That wasn't even thirty
Right.
dollars. I'm like, what kind of fantasy
No.
world are you living in? I want to be over there when I can stretch where I can spend $30 on a bike, because then maybe $300 will
Fuck.
get me a real, what's supposed to be a $4,000 bike, which, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I got to do. I got to spend the $80. get myself a Walmart bike, beat it up because my oldest son has a mountain bike and I could use his bike, but I don't even trust that bike. It's already so beaten up that if I take it on the trails, that shit might break down halfway into the thing, and then I'll have to walk that damn bike 4 miles back to the car. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Like that's um, like there's some trails. Like yeah, obviously like you have mountains and shit up there, right? Like you have a different kind of trails that I want. What I'm gonna have. Like I'll have like
Hey,
slight
yo,
little
I'm sorry,
hills.
man. Eric John, yo, with the insults, Big E Tank. A $30 bike is about my size. This dude, he says my son's bike is still too big for me. God, he just doesn't quit. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know how I didn't commit suicide growing up with these two guys.
well, he was too young and he always cried. If you remember.
That was right. He
No,
was a fucking
John.
crybaby. God,
Oh my god, dude! I've never. He
that
cried
he did a
hard.
complete 180.
Just
That dude was. He was like he is a crybaby. Yeah.
dude, he would cry but never have actual tears. It was just sweat from his anger.
Nah.
That's all that was. But yeah, dude, no $30. You can't spend $30 won't even get you a fucking seat,
Right.
a helmet or nothing. But dude, just learning so much about like the different brands of bikes, the different things you could do with a bike, and all that shit is totally different, bro. Like it's so much information. It's so much information.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's different ones that are like cross trainers, which are ones that like are road and
The
some
cross country
trail.
ones. Uh
There's
huh.
the yeah, the full out mountain bikes, the fat tire bikes, the fitness bikes, like all these different like, bro, what the fuck, man? Like growing up, I just thought bikes were bikes, man. I had no idea about any of this shit. So like I'm just getting into it. So like I have an enthusiasm to learn more about it just because I had no idea.
Yeah, we had a conversation with a friend of ours, because he's been into bikes his entire life, right? He went from BMX or like a flatland to mountain biking, and like he opened up your
Yeah,
eyes about like that world, right? He's like, hey, if you
yeah,
really want to get serious, get yourself a Walmart bike, whatever, and then if you really want to get serious, this is what you're looking at for the price range, right? Some anywhere from 1,800 to 3,000 plus, and you were like, what?
yep,
So that's what I told my wife.
yeah,
I said, hey, baby, I'm getting an $1,800 bike. That means I'm not paying the
Sorry.
mortgage next month.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's right. I was watching some review videos, and like there's eight, nine, $10,000 bikes, but they're reviewing the best
yeah,
quote unquote entry level bikes below $3,000, and I was like, what? Entry level? Like
yeah,
who is this entry level for? But
yeah,
But I mean, you see the things that these bikes do, though. It's crazy, right? Because they have rear shocks and
yeah,
they have the forks up front, and when you're going down like really really steep terrain, which I wouldn't be riding. Like I'm gonna be riding some. The trails around here are pretty challenging, but none of the crazy stuff that's out in like let's say California or in Washington. Like you're going almost vertical
yeah,
down
yeah,
these damn boulders on these rocks, but they have the shocks to absorb it, so where you can just make it. They have disc brakes. They have all the equipment that you need. I mean, when you look at it, yeah, it's a three, four, $5,000 bike. So I
easily,
gotta
bro.
get a Walmart bike first for sure. And I think once I
Yeah,
get for you, it's easier because you just open your back door and you have your property and then you just ride out. I gotta get in the car, go out to the trails, and if I get into it with this Walmart bike, then for sure I think I might look into spending somewhere on there, maybe $1,500, $1,800, if my wife lets me and we don't miss a mortgage payment.
yeah. She's in the room, right? She's in the room. She's watching because you keep saying it
Look,
like you know what you sound like. You sound like a hostage video, where like you've
ask
almost got you've almost got Munchausen syndrome, and you're just like or Stockholm syndrome, and you're just like I'm
Stockholm
just
syndrome. Yeah.
if she lets me,
I'm gonna start
right?
defending my abductor.
Yeah, you're gonna start looking to the side and shit, like right, fifteen
Oh
hundred?
shit.
No, not sorry, no,
Hey,
not fifteen
no,
hundred.
hey,
Nah, dude,
she's
look,
watching, by the way, in the other room.
1500. I think 1500 would be like a couple years in where like I've
Mhm.
really stuck to it. Like that's a lot of money to put into a bike. Like I guess if I consider my Walmart my beginner bike, right?
Mhm.
Which I already have some issues with. I'm gonna take it to a trail once I get a helmet, just because I don't want to risk a falling. I'm like trying to be like fucking like a young kid, or like, oh, I could survive anything, and then I fall and
Yeah.
bust my head open, then I'm fucked. I'd rather get a helmet first before I even go on the trail, then go on the trails and then see how my bike handles it, and then assess it from there. But even then, like it's not something I'm not gonna jump to like a $1,500 bike. Like I'd have like an intermediate bike for like say maybe five to top end seven, if I you know what I mean, where
Mm-hmm.
I can feel comfortable that I could buy it and afford it, and then if I like if we all get into it and we're able to travel again as human beings, you know what I mean, and we're able to
Uh-huh.
travel, then maybe I'll look into investing in and like going to different trails and getting more and more into it. Like maybe I'll think about like a 14 $1,500 bike, but that's way down the line. Like that's not even like in my frame of mind right now.
No, yeah, I mean that's
You
a
know what I
big
mean?
commitment right from the start. You're like, hey, $1,800, you're either in or out. And I think numbers like that kind of they scare people. Maybe it's the reality of what you have to spend for a good bike. Even if you're not,
Yeah.
doing this competitively or trying to tackle some crazy trails or obstacles,
Yep.
but like those numbers kind of scare people from getting into that sport to begin with. So I mean, I think you're doing it the right way, right?
Yeah.
You get yourself a Walmart bike, find out what it is that you need, like what that bike can handle or can't handle. You'll probably get to know right
Hmm.
away that you can't really take it on some crazy trails or try to do any steep
Yep.
like downhills or try to tackle any of that stuff because those frames aren't going to be able to hold. And that's one of the
Right.
big things, like the frames and where these frames are made. Some are made, most are made in Taiwan. Even the brand name bikes are mostly made in Taiwan, and then the really crappy ones are made somewhere in China, like whatever, I don't know, mainland China, I'm guessing,
Yeah.
which is probably all the Walmart bikes. But that's where
Yep.
those sturdier frames and the suspensions come into play, and like you have to spend the money. It might not be 1,500, it might be 600, 700, and I think for
Hmm.
$600 or $700 you'll probably find something that suits. Because I've seen them. I've seen them
Yeah.
online that suits what you're trying to do. Like I've seen some of these crazy review videos, and I'm like, yeah, I can tell why someone needs a $3,000 bike when they're trying to put these bikes
Yeah.
through the crazy shit in these review videos. I'm not trying to do that. I don't have a Fox Racing shirt on. Nobody's sending me
No,
sponsorship
no,
checks. You know what I mean? I just want to get on the trails.
exactly.
There's gonna be some bumps. There's gonna be some stuff, but nothing ridiculous like that.
I'm not. I was watching this dude, which I got to give him a follow and a shout out. I was watching this dude doing a bunch of reviews called like Daily Mountain Bike Rider, right? And he was doing, and he does like all this. He's doing like all these jumps. And there was a video I posted of a guy like going down like almost looks like a stairwell, but it's like a winding stairwell down hills and stuff like that.
Uh huh.
I was like, I'm never gonna do anything like no, that's there's levels to
Right.
this shit. That's just a level I don't feel comfortable at. I'm good at like, you know what I mean, doing some off road, going over some little like some roots of trees, you know what I mean, going up and down hill, get a good workout, but like I'm never trying to do like fucking jumps on my dog is snoring so loud. My bad on my damn mountain bike, bro. It's just not something I feel comfortable doing. Like that just seems. If I was younger and I had been doing it my entire life, probably. But
Mm-hmm.
like to start at 36, to be like, oh, now I'm gonna jump mountain bikes 20 feet in the fucking air, could suck an entire bag of dicks. You know what I mean?
And
Like that's
that's
just
my
not. It's
problem,
not
right?
happening.
Because that's my problem because my wife is gonna have to talk me out of doing that crazy shit because she'll use the same logic that you just used. She'll look at me and say, "Hey, you're 36. What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah,
You got kids.
exactly.
You got a family, a wife, a
Yes.
mortgage. It's like you got a 401k. Why are you starting this shit right
Yeah.
now?" And I'm like, "Why are you trying to
Hmm.
crush my dreams? I'm just trying to live.
I know.
I'm trying to live my best life.
Let me live.
We got health insurance."
Let me live my best life, hater. We got health insurance. We good. We only pay $5 a year.
But she's a
Nah,
sensible
dude.
one. She's the one that tells me like, "Hey, you gotta watch it," because I showed you my skates the other day, right? And I spent almost $300 on those skates. But I grew up inline skating and all that stuff. They have no brakes, and so
I
she'll
didn't
look
want
at
to.
me. She's
I
like, "Are
didn't
you
want to
sure that's
mention
what you
it
want to
when I
do?"
say
She's like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do?"
yeah.
And I
I
told
don't know
her,
why.
I said, "Baby, it's okay. I spent enough time around white people that I know what I'm doing."
Is that's so racist, John? You realize that's so racist,
Uh, is it?
but accurate.
But
But
accurate.
also
It's
accurate.
not
I mean,
racist
no,
if it's true.
accurate. If it's true, yeah. Like, was it Chris D'Elia said, man? The man, black people take forever crossing the street. That shit was.
He's like, can you get canceled for a look? You're like, black people don't take forever for crossing the street. They don't, right?
That shit. Yo, I gotta watch
No.
that shit again. I gotta watch it. But
Oh
dude, no.
shit.
I was looking. So I had only seen these type of bikes, like the higher end bikes, online, right? So I went to a bike shop yesterday,
Hey, by the
and I
way, you need to listen
found,
to your
and I
brother. Your brother's watching, and he says you're not investing on an expense. Or listen, he's like, I understand why you're hesitant buying an expensive bike.
here we go.
You're not investing on the bike.
Right,
You're investing in your health. That dude's spitting
motherfucker, bro.
knowledge right now.
I hate when he
Wisdom,
does that.
wisdom, wisdom from
I
your
hate when he
26
does
year old
that shit,
brother. Wisdom.
bro. Motherfucker turns 26, and all of a sudden becomes fucking the
Now he.
raccoon from Kung Fu Panda.
That's
Fuck
right.
that guy. It was a raccoon, right? It was a raccoon. Some
Whatever
kind
he
of
was,
land mice. I don't know.
he was some kind of fucking vermin. That's what he
Yeah,
was.
he was definitely a vermin. Yeah, he was a fucking. He wasn't. I don't even consider that a man. Was like a marsupial. Fuck that guy. Um, but yeah, I mean he's right. But also I have bills and shit. You know what I mean? Like
There's that.
that's an insane amount of money. That's an insane amount of money to spend on a bike like that. So what I was saying before
Hmm.
my sweet little brother decided to jump on real quick is that when you see them online is one thing, John. I'll tell you right now, it is much more difficult to walk away from them when you see the $7, $8, $900 bikes in person, and you
Hmm.
realize there's serious levels to this shit. Like you go to a
Yeah.
bike shop, yo, you go to a bike shop, and you see them because all the bikes I've ever seen in my life have the fucking brake wires going to the tires or to the brakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have those
There's
vertebrae. Yeah.
no wires. Yeah, there's no wires, dude, and it just looks so sleek. Like I saw a specialized. It looked like a stump jumper, right? Which is
That's
about a $1,200 bike.
yeah. That's like the one they're known for.
I saw it in person. Yeah, I saw that one in person yesterday. It was all black with like a matted silver logo of Specialized. Like there was a reason why I decided to take my wife's car because if we would have took the truck, I would have made a bad decision. Where like my wife would have been furious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she
Yeah.
would have been pissed. But the lady I was talking to, and it's also better. Like talking to our boy Marlon was one thing, and then talking to like the lady who worked there, she was telling me about giant bikes, which is what Marlon told me about. Right? I think Marlon
Yeah.
told me
He's
about
got
the
one.
Fathom or some shit like that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the one that the lady told me about that was more like a cross trainer was the Giant Rome 2, which is about 670, right?
Hmm.
Solid bike, but it doesn't make sense how like the Giant Rome 2 was 670, but the 3, 4, and 5 were cheaper, but almost with the same like same detail, same kind of sizes, of 27 and a half instead of a 29, which is like the tire height, right? Like or the right, that was like the tire height.
Yeah, the size of the
All these
tire.
things that I had no
26,
idea
20.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these things that I had no idea about. Like I didn't know they it mattered by size, and then they had different sizes. Small, small for you, medium,
That's
large,
true.
extra large.
Small is
Sorry,
for people that are 5'2" to 5'4", 5'5". So yeah, it would be a small frame for me
yeah. So it would be for you. Which
because I
honest, like
would bust
no,
my nuts if I got a bigger frame once I fall off the bike. That's just
here's
what it
and this
is.
is not a joke. Like, if you buy a small, right, that shouldn't be as expensive as like a large
It's
or
the
an
same.
extra large, in my opinion.
They're the
You know what I
same.
mean?
I was
Same
comparing
price.
them.
That's so. Yeah, I looked at all that shit, dude. I had three browsers open. It was Trek, Giant,
Hmm.
and Specialized that I was looking at.
Yeah.
I haven't like really delved into like Cannondale yet because I don't know shit about them. So I got to look more into that. But just like learning about all these different brands, then looking at all the stuff you sent me from like Bikes Direct, and those are brands that I'd never heard of. But I was like, yo, am I
So
just being like a brand whore where it matters? Like,
that's the thing about Bikes Direct, right? Bikes Direct is some of those bikes that they have. What they do, I think, is they just get frames, and the frames are some of them are made in Taiwan, some of them are made in China, but it'll tell you where they're made, so you know if you're getting a shitty frame. And then they slap the components on the bikes together, and really that's what you're paying for.
right,
You want a good frame, but everything else doesn't belong to. Like if you're getting a bike made by Giant, you're getting the frame and their suspension. Everything else is brand from SRAM, Shimano. All the components are made by other companies. And so, Bikes Direct sometimes won't have the best or the nicest frames as far as the geometry goes or the design or whatever it is. Some might be a little bit heavier. And then you just have to look at the components that they put on those bikes, which might be lower end than maybe what you would find on a Giant. But I mean, there are two, three, $4,000 bikes on Bikes Direct that would be
Yes.
maybe $7,000 on or $8,000 if you bought a branded bike. So look. It's been a while, right? Because like I said, our friend he told us all about the bikes, and
Yeah.
Marlon's been working on bikes his entire life. He worked at a bike shop when he was in high school. I used to work on my shitty mountain bike when I was growing up too. I mean, I would change. I did the work myself. I never took to a bike shop, but it's been a while since I've done that. Now, could I do it? Could I get a bike from Bikes Direct, and then upgrade the components myself? Probably. I'm pretty confident
Yeah.
with it. I'd be able to do it. So that's what it comes down to. Like, there are no brands there though. Bikes Direct doesn't really have a branded bike. So it's on
Right.
your comfort level of putting the bike together because I think when you get it, it's 80% complete. You got to assemble the rest or take it to a local bike shop. And then the components, some are higher end depending on which ones you buy. Some you could probably upgrade, but you would end up maybe paying $500-$600 for a bike. And if you want to upgrade components, you end up with maybe $800. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But $800 that could have
Hmm.
been $1,800 because it's not a branded bike.
Yep.
And I've known about Bikes
Yeah.
Direct for a long time, but I haven't pulled the trigger on spending that kind of money on a mountain bike yet.
Yeah. I think with a lot of that stuff is a lot of the things like with the branding companies, they also sell frames, right? Where you just buy the frame and build it out from there and customize it however you want if you feel comfortable. But also like
Right.
I thought that's totally a possibility. You know what I mean? Where you make it a build your own bike type of thing because cheers, my brother.
Cheers.
You build your own bike type of thing with because there's YouTube. You know what I mean? You can watch YouTube tutorials and figure it out how it works and all that. What we got? We got somebody jumping in.
Yeah, Natalia de Leon Guerrero. She says, "Hey B,
Okay. All right. What up, cuz?
got got
That's
people giving
fam.
me
That's
shout
my fan
outs."
band from Hawaii,
Yeah.
man. Damn right, bro. I'm world famous, bitch. But yeah, man. So it's a good time, man. Like, listen, this bike shit is probably besides podcast. Like, I consider podcasting a hobby till we monetize this bitch, right?
Hmm.
So besides this, it's definitely biking or mountain biking that's become like another hobby of mine. Like, dude, I'm like I'll tell you, be 100% honest. I felt kind of like a bitch, like going to a store to buy a helmet because I thought like buying a helmet is some bitch shit. Because I'm still thinking there's still part of me of like my like lizard brain that's like, yo, you're still young, man. You don't need no fucking helmet. You'll walk it off. But then I see people falling who like mountain bike for real. Like if these
Hmm.
motherfuckers fall, and I just started getting into it, I can't afford to get hurt. Then also like my
Well,
arm's fucked up. It's like, what if I try to catch it with my arm? You know what I mean? There's
yeah,
just so much going on now.
yeah, and
So
if
much
you're
going
going
on.
by yourself too, like you crack your head on a rock or whatever, like who's out there with you if you don't go with a group of
Yep.
people? Oh, by the way, hey, I know you
Yeah.
mentioned the podcast and monetizing it. There's what 5-6 people out there watching. Big E Tank, Pastor, that's your brother. Who else we got out there?
Yes, sir.
Jonathan the Myth. Hey, if you're watching, share with your friends, spread the word. Benjamin wants to
For
make
real.
this thing
This is,
worldwide. We want to make it worldwide or Miami wide or Hialeah wide, whatever. Share with your friends.
I mean,
What are
that
they doing right now?
is a very
Your friends are in
like
Hialeah.
like
What was that rhyme for Hialeah? Agua, fango, y factoria. That's all. That's what
is that what it
Hialeah
was?
was. Hialeah, agua, fango, y factoria. But that's what it is.
Yeah,
I remember growing
Miami
up there.
Springs, Lakes, Pembroke Pines. I mean, we could leave.
Send
We
the
could
links to
leave.
your
We're in
friends.
Ohio.
Parrilla, send the
We're
links to your
everywhere.
friends. You're the myth, right? Earn that name, the myth. Send this shit out. Big E Tank, you got like 3,500 friends and you got fire memes. Send this shit out. Huh? Or
For real,
you
dude.
don't want your people to know.
You know,
You don't want your people to know you used to be a crybaby growing up. Is that it? That's what
that's
it
exactly
is.
what it is.
Send this shit out anyway.
That's what it is. You become a lot more aggressive when you drink and he's not next to you because he can't crush your fucking soul. You know that? He would probably kill. Let's be honest. Like Eric would probably kill you with his beard, right? Just
With
his
this
beard
beard,
alone. Like
he
he just
might just like breathe on me too hard, and I might like have a
yeah.
broken arm, for sure.
He probably picked you up. What'd you say?
Hey, look. But when growing up, I had to
Yeah.
keep him and Chris from fighting each other.
Yeah.
And then they both
How close
outgrew
are
me.
they in age?
Chris might be a little bit bigger than me, but I can still take him. That's but not Eric. I can't take Eric John. I I need a baseball bat and he needs to be a few
You need a
beers
gun.
in.
Yeah, you like he'll catch. You swing, he'll catch the swing. Like that's. I, look at
I
what are you
gotta go
doing,
for the
little man? What are
knees.
you
I
doing?
gotta go
Older
for the knees, man. Hey, Eric is a
solid.
fucking athlete. I don't know if you remember him growing up playing football. That dude is he's athletic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster, bro. Yeah, of course I remember. Motherfucker, I was around. But yeah, dude, like I don't. Yeah, your wife is not gonna let you get an $1,800 bike. Like she might let you, like if you don't tell her, buy it after. You know what I mean?
That's what
Like
it
where
is,
you're
right?
like,
You
oh, I
like
didn't know.
yeah. But what's the saying? It's
What's the
better
thing in
to ask
Spanish?
for forgiveness than for permission.
Yeah, es mejor
Yeah.
pedir permiso. Yeah, pedir perdón que pedir permiso.
Except she's watching right now, so
That's
she
real.
knows. And she'll
Yeah,
know as
I
soon as
mean
I
you
buy
can.
it because we have this we share a bank account. So as soon as I buy that shit, Capital One will send her phone a notification like, "Hey, someone just spent $1,800," and she's gonna be like, "Oh, I know what just happened," and the logs will get changed out.
Yeah, you die, and she'd beat your ass. What bike were
Nah,
you
she
looking
loves
at
me.
though? For real? For real.
I was looking at the giant stance, and so it's between $1,500 and $1,800. And to tell the truth,
Okay.
when I looked at it, I think Marlon mentioned the one that he has, which is the Trans, and I was looking at the
Yeah,
and the big difference between those two bikes
that's
is the suspension.
yeah.
It's a different type of
So the
suspension,
trans
but
3K, right?
what's that?
The trans is 3K, right? The one that's
Like
3K.
20, no, like 21, like 21.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huge difference with tax like 22, 22.7,
Oh, I thought you said
right?
3K. I was like, that's a big difference. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
but
no,
I,
no, no,
but I,
no. I'm
but
saying
even
like,
then,
tax.
yeah, even then, like the stance at 1,800, I think would be the one to go. Like a $300 difference for a better suspension. Considering I weigh about 150 pounds, like and the kind of riding I'm gonna be doing doesn't call for that kind of like. I won't really see the difference. I might see it, but it's not gonna affect how much I like the bike. So, but then again, if I'm spending that kind of
Like,
money, it's a long term investment, right? Just like those skates. I mean,
yeah,
it's a different price, but $300 for skates is a lot of money. But I'm keeping those skates. I
that is-
upgrade the wheels. I upgrade the frame. It would be the same thing with the bikes. I would keep the bike and I would upgrade the components or maintain them as as they wear.
so my question, like, so you consider your $1,800 bike your starter bike or your like intermediate or your like your end bike?
That would be like
You know what I'm
my
saying?
end all be all. That's my bike. I know that's considered an entry level bike, but that's I wouldn't upgrade to a
That's so
three or four
crazy.
thousand dollar bike.
That's so crazy, right? That like almost 2 grand is considered entry level. Like
Yeah,
that's almost like having 5 years experience for like an entry level data entry position job. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like that sounds so crazy, bro. Like that's so much money, man.
A
Like who
lot of
has
that
like
comes
a
from the sport
that's a
though, and the journalism and how they cover it because it's not everyone that's trying to get into mountain biking is trying to do all this crazy shit and there's a lot of advancement in
right?
bikes from what the bikes I had 25 years ago to what's out there now. And so yeah, I mean I
Yeah,
wouldn't
of
get
course.
that same kind of bike, but at $500 or $600 you'd get some of the benefits of the newer technology. You wouldn't get all of it, but at $500 or $600 you could find something that's gonna do you just fine, and it's a bike that you could probably have for the next 5-10 years or longer if you chose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you take care of it and get the maintenance on it and all that stuff.
yeah,
Because that's another thing. Like I think growing up, I had a mountain bike, probably from Walmart too, that I never kept any maintenance up on. It's just like learning about all the different type of stuff, like not knowing all the things you got to do to maintain the bike, the components, what the difference between soft tail and hard tail, which is all about the
yeah.
suspension. I mean, like all this different shit. What were you gonna say?
Hey, but your brother got offended. He's like, I've got fire memes,
Of course,
so he's a little upset that we're talking about Eric and his meme game. Look,
he
you're
does have
gonna have to
solid.
get with Eric, Josh. You might have fire memes. You might have to get with Eric. I don't know. He's on another level. You know what you are?
He's got a lot.
Eric is Pitbull as Mr. Worldwide. Your Pitbull is Mr. 305. You gotta step your game up. I haven't seen your memes, but I've seen Eric's memes, and
Well,
they're fire.
Josh has a lot of like anime memes and shit like that. Eric John has a lot because you got to remember, like my mom is on our Facebook, so my brother
Ah,
stays away from the.
the ass eating
Yeah, my
memes.
brother stays.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ass. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, like that's not. My brother stays away from those. He's not. He's not as bold as your brother. So you
Yeah.
gotta be mindful of that. But yeah, dude, like it's interesting, man. Like I don't even know how long we've been talking about this shit. I think we're like at 30 minutes about it. Like
Half
the
an
bike
hour.
shit is really interesting. We just yeah, exactly half an hour. Like it's really interesting just because it's like it's this whole new world of shit that I had honestly no idea about 12 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where like it, I saw. Well, I was like, it all got kickstarted with my one of my like the podcast. I guess you could call them the podcast kings, and Brendan Schaub starting that whole thick boy bike club shit. I was like, all right. And then what made it cool is like I saw people my size, you know, like 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, 6'2", you know,
Yeah.
260s, 270, 280 plus, like riding bike. I was like, all right, because you picture bike riding like Lance Armstrong looking motherfuckers, you know, like
Yeah.
142 pounds, like you on steroids, riding up and down hills in Paris and all that shit. Like you don't think of like and like the competitive mountain biking at a like in a arena, you know what I mean, where they're just doing laps. You don't think of it like people my size doing that shit. So I was like, oh shit, maybe this is possible for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I was like, all right, let me look into it. Then we looked into it. I was like, look, obviously these bikes are very expensive. Talking about it with my wife, especially like the times we're going through too, with like her being unemployed, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean. It's a lot of money to spend at this time. So I was like, oh, let's just look at some starter bikes at Walmart. And the one I saw was cool. I honestly bought it because of the colors. I like the black and green, and it was a height that I felt comfortable with because a lot of the other ones were just a little bit too low. Not
Mm-hmm.
realizing because I still had that mentality where like the dip in the
Men and
frame
women's
is a
bike.
female bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I still had that. So I needed to do more research on that and learning more stuff like how to adjust it, but like not being frustrated that I can't fix my handlebars, but I
Yep.
could adjust my seat, which makes it a little bit easier and shit like that. Just learning all that stuff is really cool. You know what I mean? Because like I'm not the handiest of people with stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
but just you know what I mean, like fixing her bike when it's too low and taking the pressure off her wrist because her handlebars have to come up, or you know, making sure her leg is fully straight and just shit like
Right.
that just makes it interesting. So
Yeah.
I'm all
Right.
in on
That's
it.
the other
Are
thing
you
you got
gonna
to
get a bike?
consider, right, with these bikes. What's up?
Are you gonna get a bike for Mel, or what are you gonna do?
She's got a Schwinn, just like a cruiser, just to cruising around the whatever the neighborhood. I don't
Solid.
think Mel is going to get into trail riding with me. It's gonna be one of those things where she just says, "I'll see you in a couple hours when you get home." You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I mean, I'll
yeah.
try.
No, I know.
I'll definitely. Every time I do anything, I'm like, "Hey, you want to give this a shot?" She's like, "Nah, you got it. You got this. That's all you." Like, all right.
Yeah, we're kind of in between that as well, like trying to figure out like because I don't like I looked at the trails that I sent you the videos on. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure how realistic those type of trails are. 'Cause that's one thing I didn't see, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing I didn't see in like the videos and the reviews and stuff was a lot of women mountain bikers. You know what I mean? That like were look like a very male dominated, male heavy thing. I'm not gonna call it a
Mm-hmm.
sport because unless they're doing the races, these are just hobbies for people. You know what I mean? That
Right.
happen to have that kind of money. So like I don't know how realistic it is for because I could go, you know what I mean, for her to do it as to the level that I do it at. You know what I mean? But also like I want to incorporate her with the stuff I do because it's getting out. But so we'll see how that works. But
Mm-hmm.
because she got a mountain bike too, so we'll see. I also don't know like the quality of trails that there are around here. Like because if they're paved, it's gonna be a lot easier than you know what I mean than off roading for real. Because I don't know yet. I haven't gone to them.
Yeah, I mean, but if they're paved, then you really don't need to spend any that kind of money on a mountain bike, right? These bikes
Exactly.
are, we're
Exactly.
talking about these 500, 1200, $1,800 bikes. It's bikes that have tree roots and they're single track, and they're essentially they're just the width of the bike, and you're going over some rocks maybe and roots and doing some climbing, descending a little bit. So you need the suspension
Incline.
and all those other things to be able to
Yep.
on the bike to be able to make your ride more enjoyable. So Florida is flat, right? So, but there's
For
a
the
lot
most
of
part.
apps out there. There are a lot of apps out there that you can find trails. So, I mean, take it whenever they open up the parks, get on those apps
Which
and
should be
just find
soon
those trails that are close to you.
here. Yeah, which should be soon here. Um, as far as I know, they're gonna start opening, like doing a lot of soft openings for things. I think most of the parks are already open. I don't know about statewide, but I think, and like as far as like Miami-Dade County was opening up, if Miami-Dade's
Uh-huh.
opening up, we shouldn't be too far behind. I live in a small ass county, so it's not much to worry about. So we'll see. But yeah, dude, like it's just, and also like it's not like the parks are closed. You just can't go through like the main entrance.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? There's also like side entrance to these trails that you could do
Oh
and
yeah, you
get
can go
around
to
that shit. So
trailheads, or you can find some way to get onto the trail, even
yeah.
if you yeah. Hey, where are you at? Eric wants to know where you're at. I don't know why he's talking to you.
He's a weird fucking
Yep.
weirdo. I live in Bushnell, bro. I live in a small town by like
You
35
live
minutes
in
south of Ocala called
the
Bush.
Boondocks. Yeah.
Yeah, Bushnell. I'm gonna check out Croom's. Hopefully, I gotta get my helmet first, which I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna check out Croom's Trail this week.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if it keeps
Yeah.
me this slow, I'm gonna go check that out. I would definitely want to do that. Just do like I was looking at it, and I sent you the link like in the group chat
Yeah.
on WhatsApp. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
like they got one trail that's like 36 miles. It's called like Drunken Monkey. Got another trail that is like 12 miles, 14 miles, 4 miles. You know what I mean? So they got like different things, and like depending, and even those miles aren't the concrete set, the
Mm-hmm.
concrete setting, because if like they cross over each other, they intersect with each other. So you could do like 24 from one, and then do 14 from another, circle back to a 12 miler. You know what I mean? Like if you're really like balls deep into that shit. So that's crazy, bro. Like you could really do some fucking miles. But again, like it's very different if some are paved as opposed to some are just
Right.
raw earth biking. I'm hoping to do
Yeah.
some like raw earth biking just to see like what my bike can handle, and then figure out, like, assess for the future what I need to do.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine with that price range you talked about. I think somewhere between 4 or 5 to maybe 700 at the most. Just because Florida trails
Yep.
are gonna be mostly flat. You're not going to be on a boulder and then looking straight down to drop on another fucking rock, because that's where these 3, 4, $5,000 bikes come into play, with the
Yeah,
stronger frame and the
be,
suspensions and all that shit.
I'll never be looking down a boulder trying to jump onto another boulder, regardless of what my tax bracket looks like. That's just never gonna be me.
Yeah.
No, no.
No.
I could be in the tax bracket of getting loopholes where I make all my money back and then steal money from actual taxpayers, and still not be looking down a boulder to jump down another boulder to climb down a fucking mountain. No, it's not happening.
No. So
At
we're
no
not
point.
going to like the
Let's
Smoky Mountains to hit the trails out there,
no, bro. Fuck no,
Tennessee and
no,
North
no,
Carolina, because you know it's gonna have some of those crazy trails. They must.
no. Absolutely.
You don't
Yeah,
want to
where
take like
people come up
two
missing.
weeks off. You don't want to take 2 weeks off work and do the Appalachian Trail and just get on a bike and do that. Actually, I'd like to do that shit.
No. Yeah. Bunch of fucking homeless people. No, no, John. No, I wouldn't.
I
We'd have
think
to
they're called
carry guns
hippies.
for that. You know that, right? No, no. I think they're called serial killers. Like, have you ever seen, like, there was like a 2020? We watched a couple. Like,
I think
no matter
every
of
night
fact,
I
it
would. I
was.
think every night I would be saying, "I see white people."
That's all you would see. That's all you, dude. Speaking of white people, I want to
Tennessee is
apologize to
fire,
all white
Eric. You're
people that
right.
are white.
Tennessee takes his Eric goes mudding. It seems like he goes every other weekend. He's in Tennessee in his fucking Jeep, like titty deep in the mud and shit. Like that's all he's doing. That's the life that Eric lives. Titty deep in the mud in his Jeep and his ATVs and whatever. But Tennessee is
No, no
fire. We definitely got
disrespect.
to make it out there to hit some trails.
I want to apologize to Eric ahead of time because this is just purely a joke. Don't take any actual offense to this. But your titties kind of sag, so that might not be that deep. You know what I mean? Is
Oh damn.
that hey, look, as a fellow fat person, I know the struggle, so I can say that. But yeah, like no, definitely. Like eventually, I would want to do some cool trails like that. Yeah, but like I got to get a lot more comfortable with mountain
On a
biking
bike.
to, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to begin with. Yeah, and definitely for that. I can't ride out there with a Walmart bike, bro. That's not possible. I gotta, if I'm out there, I gotta be out there with, or like a serious giant, maybe like a stance, like what you're talking about, or something like that. Like we're talking years down the line. Because who the fuck is trying to travel like that now? Not I. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I mean, even those trails, I don't. They'll be more like technically difficult. They'll have more routes. You'll be going slower through them, but I don't think they're going to have the crazy drops that require these really strong frames and all these other components. I think a $700 bike will get you through most of those trails. You know, because I mean, you know what kind of trails you're hitting if they're intermediate or beginner or whatever it is. So just don't get on the diamond trails. Don't hit the expert trails, and I think we'll be fine.
Definitely not doing that. Marlon will be like, you bitches. Oh, it's your first day riding a bike. You better get on this fucking expert. I'm like, no, no, Marlon. We don't, this we're not peer pressured, motherfucker. No, it's not happening.
Hey, Eric says his
Marlon will be
titties
out
are
there with,
perky. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
no, no. So Eric, we've seen you with your shirt off because you posted a picture. They are not perky. Maybe your definition of perky is very different than mine. Like Trump's definition of disinfectant is different than ours. But nah, that's not
Oh
gonna
yeah,
happen. Yo,
I'm beating the coronavirus for sure. I got a couple drops of bleach in here.
I am out of fucking. I need another bottle, bro. I
Shit,
am out of honey jack.
I don't need another bottle. I need another drink. But are you out? That was it. That was your last pour.
I literally I poured everything. I poured
All
everything
right.
I had into it.
So
But
ask Melanie if she'll pour you
into
some Moscato, because I know that's what you were drinking before you started drinking Honey Jack. This, it's all right.
never though. I've never. First of all, why do you know about Moscato? I don't know shit about wine,
Because I
champagne. I
drink
don't know.
it, and
Is
my
that?
wife definitely drinks it.
Yeah, your wife should drink it. You know what I mean? Like, look,
Moscato's
I'm not
delicious.
trying to be
It's
sexist.
sweet and it's like
You're
drinking
a
fucking
bitch.
grape juice.
You should never describe something as drinking grape juice when you're talking about alcohol and trying to be a badass about it and like shrugging it off. Like
I
it's
wasn't
just
trying to be a
a
badass.
normal
It's
thing.
delicious.
Oh, I drink
If you
grape
don't like
juice.
delicious, if you don't like delicious shit, then you have bad taste. It's delicious and it
No,
gets you drunk if
alcohol
you
should
drink
never.
enough of it.
Alcohol should never be like a thing you describe as delicious. First of all, it should be something that makes you go, "Oh shit, that's strong." Not like, "Ooh, that's sweet." You should never be like. That's like you should never describe
No, no,
an alcohol.
I didn't say like
Um,
you. I
Like,
didn't say like you said it. I said it's
no,
sweet and it's delicious.
no,
You threw a different.
no.
You raised the pitch of your voice went a little higher, an octave higher. So you're familiar with that. So
Ooh, that's sweet. That's
hey,
what you did. Yeah,
you live your life.
yeah. Live your life, Moscato. Fuck out of here. Next, we gotta try the wild turkey, right? That's the one that got recommended.
I was
Wild
told
turkey.
by that wild turkey honey is better than Jack Daniel's Tennessee honey.
I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna have to see about that. I might have to go cop that tomorrow because I have to buy the little bottle because I know I like Tennessee Honey Jack.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm gonna like wild turkey, so we'll see.
you let me know
But
because I
yeah,
still have half my bottle left.
yeah, I do. Like this bottle lasted me a long time because we were only drinking on Wednesdays when we
Yeah.
used to do it on Wednesdays. So we'll see about that, dude. Let me tell you about. I didn't even realize this shit. Jumping off the topic for a second. Like, did you know the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, called like in a press conference called Florida, heaven like God's waiting room.
That means what? Everyone's waiting to die there because he fucked them over.
Yeah,
What
because
exactly did that mean?
so, because everybody's so old here. They're like, yeah, man, this is God's waiting room. I was like, what the? Hey, man, that's not. You're not supposed to say that. Like, I
Right.
don't give a shit about boomers. Just the next person, but dude, you're a governor. That's who literally votes for you. But it's not like they're not televised like Andrew Cuomo's fucking press conferences. So nobody probably saw it, but it's all over YouTube.
No,
It's
Andrew
pretty funny.
Cuomo's press conferences are like these fucking high school students that are about to announce what college they're going to. Like Cuomo's like,
Yeah,
and I'm going to UNC Chapel Hill, and he puts on a different hat. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? They're funny. It's funny to watch.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually gotten away from watching politics. Like I don't even watch like the Young Turks. I watch maybe sometimes that kid Brian Tyler Cohen, like because it's
yeah.
literally like 6 7 minute videos I tolerate. But for the most part, it's just exhausting. It's just anxiety driven shit. Like seeing this person talk about this shit, then this person gives their opinion. I was like, bro, I'm out. Like I'm out. Like even if you've noticed, like I haven't gone on my rants lately on social media.
Yeah.
Haven't done much sharing. Haven't done much
This
sharing
mountain
about
bike
because
research has taken up my time for real, and it's been great because I don't have to watch these ridiculous press conferences. And it's yeah,
It's
that's what's taking
easy.
up my time. I'm looking into mountain bikes and how am I going to convince my wife? Coming up scheming with plans of how I'm going to convince my wife to let me buy an $1,800 bike. I'm going to send her text messages, messages on WhatsApp, messages on Facebook Messenger. I'm going to tag her on Instagram. I'm going to leave web pages open. Just with like my favorite
Hey
bikes.
John, this is how you don't do it. Saying it on a podcast that's live on Facebook that your friends and family can see, and saying
Ah,
you're
she's
gonna
also
scheme on your
she's also
and she's
watching
watching.
live. She's also watching and hearing me. Hey,
Probably not the best way to get something you want,
uh
right? Probably
it doesn't matter. Look,
scheming
hey,
against my wife.
hey, but let's be real. If she didn't know I was doing it, like she would be able to see right through it anyway. So like, does it really matter that I'm saying it live? She would know exactly what
You're
I was
right,
doing.
100%, 100%, bro. But dude, it's so crazy, man. Like this bike shit
Yeah.
is just like it was just been completely out of nowhere. Where I'm just like, yo, I'm all in on this shit. Like I like today was the first day since I got my bike that I didn't ride. That's because we went to go see family. By the time we got back, it was too late. Like it was just the timing of it wouldn't have worked to do the distance that I
Yeah.
wanted to do. So it was like, all right, tomorrow I'm getting up early and we're doing it. And then we're going to the bike shop, you know what I mean, and doing like all this research. So I was like, and shout out to the fact that I found a helmet that fits, bro. I found the helmet that fucking fits, bro.
Where at?
I didn't think it was gonna be pop.
Some big and tall store?
Uh, yeah, it was big headed and small brain store that I found down the street. No, you fuck. Actually, a
What did you do?
specialized helmet. The
You
helmet
cut multiple helmet? Did you take my advice? Did you get the
I
styrofoam?
cut him.
Did you get the styrofoam from these
I cut
82-inch flat screen TVs and put them together to form your helmet?
82-inch, John. At least say 85. What 82-inch television have you ever seen in your life? What type of random ass cut of LCD have
It's
you
a big
seen?
ass number.
Nah, I cut up four smalls, right, and
Hey,
welded them
shout
together
out to
and
your
sewed.
boy Jerome Armstead who just got on.
That's my boy, man. That's my brother. That's my boy, dude. We play football together. Shout out to 2012 flag football champs from Hawaii, boy. Shout out to the squad.
Hey, I don't know. Does that hold a candle to the Miami Springs playing football on the damn street football? No rules.
Yeah, street. Yo, let me tell you right now. I almost got into a fight. I never told you the story. I almost got into. Yeah, I fought the E7. That's well documented, but not
Yep.
documented at the same time. I almost fought a colonel from that was like I think he might have been a doctor, like at from Tripler. I
Okay.
almost fought a colonel like, on the football field because he kept throwing his shoulder and it was illegal. I was like, listen, bro, I don't give a fuck what your rank is. I'm knocking the fuck out next time you throw that shoulder. And I got a flag because you can't curse. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just letting you know. Next time you do that, you're going to catch one to the chin, bro. Because he kept dropping his shoulder like he's really rushing the edge. I was like, bro, this
Uh
is flag football. Calm down. Calm down, champ. You're not gonna get an MVP trophy out here. You're not gonna be on ESPN. Shit.
Look, man, flag
Let's take it
football
back.
serious. When I was in
Bro, in the
Korea, you
military,
know when we played street ball, it was bump and run. When I was in Korea, flag football is the same shit. And I remember some dude like grabbing my arm, and the official, the referee was right there, and I'm looking at them like, "Yo, are you gonna call this shit or what?" So obviously I get flagged because I
yeah,
say, "Are you gonna call this shit?" I'm like, the dude is bear hugging me. So that was when I was a receiver. So on the other end, I would play bump and run, and I think on one play, I just said, "Fuck it, she's not calling shit." So we play bump and run, and then I grabbed him by the jersey, and I just let my feet go out from under me, and I dropped to the ground, and I brought that motherfucker down with me like we were in WWE and some shit. And then she threw a flag. I said, that's what you're gonna call. All right, let's be consistent."
yeah.
I was a little I was a little too much into it.
Obviously, we competitive as fuck. Shout out to my boy Armstead though, man. Uh, this dude is the one of the most athletic big guys besides your brother I ever seen. That dude
Yeah.
could cut on a dime, and he be like he'll make sound effects as he's doing it. He'll be like, "Oh, got him," and then he just
That's the
somebody
worst,
get the
man.
boy,
That's the worst for that dude
bro.
that
It was
just got juked out. Shit.
yeah,
Whose ankles just
I
got
had
broken.
him. They had him on my team. Had a dude that was from. We can talk about it now. Like we had a makeshift team where like my company didn't have. but like this company, I forgot what was like recruiting, and we got with them, and it was like my boy Dwight Tyler, fucking quarterback. He
Mm-hmm.
was like Michael Vick mixed with I don't, dude. The guy was a phenom, man. Like he can make throws on the run that I've never seen anybody make
Mm-hmm.
in the history of ever. And this is flag football, so that was crazy. Yeah, I never saw a dude get. He single handedly won because the playoffs. How it worked was you had to win. You had to lose 2 games. We went into
Mm-hmm.
the championship with 1 loss, so we had to
Okay.
win twice against the triplet team. The triplet team was undefeated. We beat their ass the first game, and then we beat their ass in overtime the second game. And we never talked any smack the whole season. But then at the end of it, we were like, yo, we won the championship. We won the chip. Like, we about to talk some shit.
Right.
And that championship was the same day. I think if I remember correctly, that championship was the same day that the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers fight happened. Malice at the Palace.
The Malice at the Palace. Yeah.
That was the same day that shit happened. So I come back, I was like, yo, man, that was just some crazy ass fight. Like, it had just happened. It didn't become big till like the next day. I was like, man, I just went back to the room because I had to have my TV on because I had to get my ID so that I was in the military. Like, I had to get my ID or whatever because they were supposed to ask. And I go there. I was like, yo, man, there was some crazy ass fight on TV because it was right when Ron Artest and Steven Jackson had jumped into the crowd
Yeah.
to fight. And everybody was looking at me like, man, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, you're going to hear about it. And then the next day, that's everything anybody talked about. That shit was crazy. Shit was wild, man. Military
Damn, how
games
long?
are very competitive.
They are.
That was like, how long ago was that, bro? When was it? When was the Malice at the Palace? Like '06, maybe '05.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 15 years ago, man. Damn.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't think maybe '06. Because I think I was already old enough to drink, so that wouldn't have been. Yeah, I was like 21, 22, or some shit like that. But it was crazy, bro. Shout out to Armstead, man. That's my brother. Battle buddy right there for life, man. But yeah, dude, I don't know. The bike shit's crazy. But and DeSantis calling it heaven's waiting room. But yeah, like you said, dude, like having this like bike shit to research has really helped not being like consumed with politics and shit like that. It's giving me something else to look at.
Yo,
So
I'm sorry. Eric just pulled out something that I completely forgot about. Yes,
uh,
Crystal Light Fruit Punch. When
well,
I was in Korea, that's a Puerto Rican thing. Crystal Light, it's called limoncillo. If you don't know what limoncillo is, it's Bacardi and Crystal Light. All right? Because over here, Eric, and Josh are going about fucking wine drunk is a different kind of drunk, and Eric John's talking about Malibu, and I'm like, Malibu, I haven't had that shit since high school. And
yeah.
he goes, he goes, if you try, make sure it's Crystal Light Fruit Punch. No, no. He said Crystal Light, and that shit just a light bulb went off. Bacardi and Crystal Light. That you don't even know you're
No,
drinking
I had
until you try to get up,
oh no.
and that motherfucker punches you in your chest and puts you right back down. I used to
Oh
drink that
no,
shit in
son,
the
I
field
got you beat.
sometimes. In my Camelback,
Of course.
I put limoncillo in my Camelback to hydrate. Before I became an NCO, when I was like an E3 or an E4, I put that shit in my Camelback, just putting up the RFAB, putting up the tent and shit in the field, and life was good, man.
Yeah, because you were
Probably
drunk,
not the best
motherfucker.
thing to be doing. Oh shit.
No, definitely not. What was there was one drink that we had back when I came home from and my boy that was in the army at the same time, but not with me. We made some drink. I forgot what we called it, bro. I think we called it like KYO. It was Sky vodka. Don't ask me on the measurements. Sky vodka, orange juice, cranberry juice, Malibu, and pineapple juice. Right? It was
Yeah.
mostly alcohol, but then like yo son, you had 2 of those, and that's what we would drink for our pregame, and then we'd head out, and we're just like, yo, we don't need, and then we just have like Coronas at the bar, fucking clubs bars in Miami are expensive as shit. It's still like
Yeah,
eight
they are.
dollars a bottle or some man. So it was,
That's
oh
crazy.
man, them KYLs. Shout out to my boy, my boy Jay, man. He would be the bartender for all them shits. And one night that my boy Danny that we've had Daniel Granada on the podcast, he
Yeah.
came out and we drank straight from the bottle. Like we had like a gallon of Publix water, the gallon waters from Publix.
Yeah.
We emptied it out and we were just passing it around. So we made the KYL from that. We had ice. We just kept throwing it in because we didn't want to drink warm liquor. End up getting sick with that shit. We
Yeah.
we killed that shit. We drank like probably like 3/4 of the gallon on the way to the club. So we get to the club, and it was one of those nights where like anything can happen. Somebody's gonna fight. Some shit like we were drunk as fuck, bro. Fuck shot. We would go to this club in South Beach called
Uh
Purdy.
huh.
That closed down back in
Uh huh.
February. That was our home away from home, bro. It was like this little hole in the wall lounge. You go in there in like t-shirts and nothing crazy. Like t-shirts, jeans, shoes. You didn't have to like dress up. You didn't have to pay a cover. We'd get their drinks in us before the crowd rushed in. Oh man, that was the 20s life, boy.
Hey,
You were married.
Eric's got a drink for you. I've never heard of this. I'm an old
I don't
man.
drink. Eric.
He says, yo,
Yeah,
the
we're old.
pink panty dropper is where it's at. I make that before the mudding events. Eric, what is a pink panty dropper? I'm like, what the
Yeah, I
fuck?
got questions. I don't know.
I
We're old.
mean,
We're old here, bro.
what kind of drink
We're
is
old and
that?
married. We're old and married as fuck. Like
I remember like late '90s, early to mid 2000s, like Incredible Hulks. That shit was nasty, by the way, but I would drink it. Like
it's
Hypnotic and
not.
Hennessy. It was terrible.
Oh, fucking gross, bro. Oh, anybody who said they
But
liked that shit was a fucking liar.
but we
I'd rather
drank
drink
it. But that
Hennessy
shit was
straight up.
terrible. Yeah.
I drank the last time I really drank Hennessy, I got my wallet stolen. Never drank Hennessy again. Like I was in the military.
Yeah.
So dude, I woke up. I remember I was in the club, and like because a whole bunch of people had just come back from Afghanistan and Iraq.
Hmm.
We're in the club. Everybody's buying drinks. We're like on the way to the club. We're drinking Hennessy straight to the head. And the next thing I remember, I'm sitting in the back seat of my own car with my seatbelt on at like 9 o'clock in the morning, sweating because none of my friends had put the windows down. I don't know what the fuck was happening. I don't know how we got back to post. My wallet was gone. I had my identity stolen. I never drank Hennessy again. Ever. Ever
Where were
again.
you in Hawaii?
What? 03 to 07?
On the Big Island?
Yeah, no, Oahu. I
Oh,
was
you're on
by
Oahu.
I was Schofield Barracks. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, man.
hey,
Right next
so
to Fort Shafter
since
base.
you had your car over there, uh,
Yeah,
how
I
how many
paid. I
times?
overpaid for a Dodge Intrepid.
An Intrepid. Oh, Dodge of all. Hey, how many times? How many times did you fall for the lady boys
What are you
over
about
there
to
in
ask right
Hawaii?
now, John?
Come on.
No, no,
No, you're
no.
not gonna admit it on air. Too many times.
Never happened. Never happened. I never fell for it.
Never
You
happened.
could
That's a
tell
good
by
answer.
you could tell by the Adams apple, John. It was a
That's
dead.
a good
It
answer.
wasn't as popularized and glamorized as it is now. But yeah, no. Like,
Hey,
yo, we
you
had.
were over there.
I,
You were
I
over
tell
there
you,
drinking. You were over there drinking limoncillo and pink panty dropper. I don't think you were looking at the
no,
Adam's apple.
no. I'll tell you right now, there was a lot of prostitution like on
Yeah.
when you get to Waikiki, right? And you could
Hmm.
always tell because all hookers and all that shit had clear heels on. Like it wasn't, what I mean, like every single one. So that's how you knew. So if they did that, you obviously you never go out there by yourself. So people would be like, "Yo, man, no," like they push you away. They won't let you set up, get caught up for the okie doke. So I stayed away from that shit. No, sir.
Okay.
Just wouldn't do it. Fuck you for thinking that I would. I'm not you, man. Because you did. Fuck out of here.
I'm not saying that you would do it on
Out of
purpose.
here.
I'm just saying I was trying to get you to. I was
Not,
just trying to get you to no
never.
to
Ever.
confess
No.
on air. Okay.
I'm
You
not
haven't
drinking.
had.
I'm not
That's
drinking
because
that.
you've only had one glass of honey jack. That's what it is. Okay.
And I don't have a second, so that's all I'm gonna have. So don't try to catch me slipping, punk ass
Oh man, hey,
dude. I was
it's all love.
not for sure. What I was gonna watch this new docu series today called Murder Mountain. Have you seen that shit?
No, dude, I'm still watching fucking Money Heist. There's too many shows for me to watch. I can't watch 8 shows a day.
Dude, don't- Jay, son, if you have Hulu, they have
I don't have
unlocked
Hulu.
HBO. You don't have Hulu?
No.
Okay, well, try to find a way to get that shit because they have unlocked HBO. You go
Okay.
watch The Wire, Sopranos, Succession,
You did
Veep,
send me that
everything.
Wire link. Okay.
Yes, bro. Hulu has The Wire. I'm gonna watch season 1 all night, and I probably won't sleep and see the sun come up till Stringer Bell dies. Oops, sorry, spoiler alert. You
Oh
know what I mean?
shit,
On
he
season 1.
dies.
It's fucking 20. I hope you know
20
that by
years
now.
ago,
I don't even think I was in the
almost.
Yeah, dude. I don't even think I was in the military. I don't even think either of us were in the military yet when The Wire came out.
No, I wasn't.
Nah, I wasn't in, like we were still kids back then.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta
I
yeah.
mean, we were talking
They have
about
all that
Oz.
shit.
Oz
They have
was like late '90s, early 2000s. We were still in high school.
yeah. That's the only thing they don't have on there because I'm guessing dudes getting fucked in the ass
It's
for
a
them to
Disney
throw on
company.
Hulu.
They're not gonna put that shit on Hulu.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
also a Disney company that puts Wire with that's black people getting fucking killed. Little weird, right? Situational racism like a motherfucker, ain't it?
yeah.
A little bit.
They get to pick and
Little
choose. They got the money.
yeah, they do have they have all the money. I can't believe they unlocked HBO like that. So I'll be watching The Wire, but I think Melanie wanted to watch some like survival show that like people get dropped like 10 people get dropped off in like Alaska and they can only take 10 items with them to survive and the one who lasts the
Hmm.
longest gets like X amount of money from Netflix. So I might check that out. No, we're gonna check that out. So we'll see how that goes.
Hmm.
But yeah, man.
That's too much. There's too much
So
TV
how
going
you
on
like
right now. I can't keep up with it.
dude, there's so much.
Yeah,
There is so
yeah.
much content.
You tell me about this new show and that new show that you watch. I'm like, dude, I'm still on the same show on like episode 8 now. And then I read. So I read or listen to audiobooks.
And
But I
you don't listen to audiobooks. You don't
no, I
read, right?
read and I listen to audiobooks. I do both.
You listen do you listen to an audiobook while you read? Because I feel like that's too much.
That's too much. I can't multitask like that. I could barely have a conversation and fucking eat my meal at the same time. I gotta tell my wife or my son, like, hold on a second, let me finish this bite, and then I can give you my full attention. I can't do all this shit right
Dude,
now.
it's sad how old we've gotten. I like
I
36.
know.
And
Damn.
especially with this
Oh,
like locked in the house. Dude, like I feel like I've aged 20 years. Like it's gonna be like some sound like a bitch. Like I get cranky now. Like just give me a second, man. It's just too much going on. Like I have when I'm like falling asleep and I'm like I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to do tomorrow. I was like I got anxiety and all this shit. Like man, fuck all of this shit. Like, this is just too much. Let's just slow down. Slow down for a second while also nothing is going on, which is really weird because
yeah.
it's just like
You
all the
mentioned.
unknown of it.
I know you mentioned Florida and DeSantis earlier. Like, I don't even get what's going on down there. The f-
It's a fucking joke, bro.
was there a need
It's
for
a
to
joke.
reopen the state when the state never really closed to begin with? Like, he waited so long to close whatever it was that he was going to close, and then a week later they opened up
Uh-huh.
again anyway.
Yeah, dude, it's a complete
Strange.
and utter shit show. Like unemployment, we're the 50th ranked state, obviously, because it's Florida. We're the 50th ranked state in like giving out unemployment benefits to people who've lost their jobs through the pandemic.
Yeah.
There, his excuse is like, I guess we'll kind of figure it out. It's all because of Rick Scott, like him defunding the whatever bureau handles unemployment because he believes that people who get unemployment are going to be less likely to work, even though that means that you're getting unemployment. I'm assuming, right, that you're getting unemployment because you got
Rick
laid off
Scott
from
is
your.
like the embodiment of a lizard person, right? I'm not a believer of lizard people and that British dude who's got his conspiracy theories. But that's what a lizard person would look like, right? Rick Scott.
Yes.
That dude is
Now, do you
creepy.
remember a very little known game from Sega called Earthworm Jim? Do you remember this game?
Fuck, who doesn't remember that game? Earthworm
Okay.
Jim. Yeah,
Real quick.
that is holy shit.
I love that
Yes.
fucking game, right? Most underrated games of all time. Only people
Uh
our
huh.
age would know this game. Need you, as we're talking about it, because I have 1910s internet. So to Google image a side by side of Earthworm Jim
Hmm.
and Rick Scott and tell me if that's not a fucking doppelganger, bro.
I can't tell them
Like
apart.
this, they're the same fucking person, man. Dude, what? Yo, Earthworm Jim and this other Sega Genesis game, Super Baseball 2020, right? Where you played and you were like this, like these fake, like these half. Like it was made in Japan. The game was made in Japan because it was all
Hmm.
like you were named after a team in Japan, and there was like dragons or
Or the
robots
Lions or
and
some
all this
shit.
shit,
Yeah.
and you like yeah, Giants or the Lions or some shit, and like you had robots on the team, and you could only hit a home run if you hit it to like dead center field. Like if you hit it anywhere, if you hit it to like left or right, you couldn't do nothing. Yo,
Right.
I've looked for that game and like looked for like clips of that game forever, bro. I can't find it. That game was that and Earthworm Jim were my shit. Earthworm Jim was the shit, son. I loved that game. Loved that game.
I don't know if I
I did.
loved it, but I definitely know that
Contra, another.
Whoever decided to make Rick Scott, because Rick Scott was made right in a lab somewhere. They used Earthworm
100%.
Jim as as a fucking guide of what we want him to look like. He's not human.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Dude, his like sunken eyes and his like lack of humanity and the fact that he's like a scam artist for the health insurance company. He's just an
Yeah.
utter and complete piece of shit. Like he literally stole money from the state, but these old fucks were like, "Oh, so what if he scammed Medicare and Medicaid out of hundreds of millions of dollars and made all his money that way? Whatever. Let's vote him for governor, and then let's vote him for senator because he's Republican. You fucking
Right.
morons." And oh, listen. All right, we'll finish this with Scott's thing. I got some shit to say about Joe Biden and the Democratic Party. That might be a little crazy and might get
Uh huh.
like I was talking about it with my wife today. I think I'm gonna talk about this on the podcast today.
Okay.
But fuck Rick Scott.
Yes.
So that was fuck Rick Scott completely. I don't think I'm voting in November, bro. Legit. Like I don't think I'm gonna vote in November. Like I don't. Like, I
Okay.
can't vote for this fucking guy. That was it. That was my breaking news. Can't do it. The guy, like all these stories. Like first, I've never liked the guy. Right? I thought he was a scumbag because I actually know why I don't like the guy. I'm not just like feeding off an advertisement.
Hmm.
But now this whole shit with this Tara Reid stuff, where like he sexually assaulted his like aide 20 years ago, and his mom actually called into like the Larry King show and
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, my daughter was sexually assaulted by a top senator. What should they do?" And now like two other corroborators have come out. And the guy's a scumbag to begin with, as most politicians are. This isn't
Right.
exclusive to him. I was like, I felt disgusting voting in 2016. I can't. I just can't see myself voting for this guy in 2020. Like I just can't, bro. So I'm legit for the first time since I've been eligible to vote. I'm not voting.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a flawed system anyway. At the end of the day, it's just
yeah,
you end up with two people. Out of all the people that are eligible, it's who has the most money to put up advertisements and raise money and raise campaign money. And that's who ends up being
yeah,
elected. I mean, at
yeah,
the end of the day, that's what it is. Who can raise the most money? That's the system that we live in, that it's supposed to be a fair and equal system. These representatives are supposed to represent us, but there are lobbyists from different companies and different interests. And then the candidates for presidency or any other major race, it's who can raise the most money. That determines who continues on. Right, as these elections start, you have 15, 18 people, and then as they go on, they can't raise the money. They just keep dropping off. It's not because they don't have good platforms, it's because they can't raise the money. And that's what our political
yeah.
system is based on. and then it ends up being just Republicans and Democrats again, just two parties, just two people that we have to pick from, and
And at the
that's
end,
the flaw in it right there.
it's
The entire system,
yeah, and it's funny where like where people act like there's these vast differences between these two parties when there
and they're the
really
same.
isn't, right? Like
And Eric
they're
is
the
right,
same.
by the
Like,
way. He says at the end of the day, Trump wins. Yeah, at the end of the day, Trump is gonna win. But I've known that.
and I'll say it.
I yeah, I knew that when he got elected. Like a
You
week after he got elected,
5 years ago.
he started his re-election campaign. He officially filed for 2020. So it's like this, his entire presidency has been an ongoing rally, an ongoing just re-election campaign. Every time he has a press conference, that's
100.
what it is.
And I'll say it, and I've said it. I think I've said it to you privately, but I don't think I've ever said it like publicly on the podcast before. Like I got Trump winning like 44-6, right? Like I don't know what like as far as just because of apathy. You know what I mean like I
Yeah.
don't because again you're giving people the same choice as 2016, where you're
Hmm.
voting against something not voting for. People are gonna vote for Trump and people are gonna vote against Trump, and people don't turn out to vote against for the you know what I mean for the most
Hmm.
part. People really turn out when there's passion. Like in 2008, 2012, you voted
Hmm.
for Barack Obama. You didn't vote
Right.
against Barack Obama. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like you had your racist tinges and your tan suits, tribalism and your mustard hot dog shit and all this other
Yeah, yeah,
stupid
yeah.
racist shit. Like you had all those tinges to it, but you never voted. You didn't show up to vote against them. Like and now you're not gonna show up to vote against Trump. You're more so gonna vote for because we've seen that no matter what he says, you know what I mean. His people stick with him, which I give him. He's kept his base 100%. He
Yeah,
hasn't
he's
grown it
kept
at
his
all,
base
but
engaged the entire 3.5 years, almost 4 years. Yeah.
entire time. So he's got that wrapped up. There's no base for Joe Biden. There's no base. There's no trust. There's no enthusiasm for the Democratic Party. Like when I go on my tangents or rants or like go off on people on their social media, it's never like as a Democrat. It's just like, yo, this. I find this stupid.
Hmm.
Where like I've been thinking about this shit really for like me, man. I've been a Bernie Sanders supporter for years, right? I've been rocking with the dude forever before he was like a cool thing to be supporting because I was rocking with his politics. But the fact now that like he's standing by Joe Biden, I said like, yo, man, like sound like lay back, bro. Like you lost, you could be Elizabeth Warren now. You could just go into the shadows and you don't have to be like an ardent supporter and we have to be Donald Trump. Like no, man, like you're
You're
you're,
not gonna
you're
be
hitching
at
your
this
horse.
point. Like, yeah,
You're not beating him, bro. You're not, regardless of anything, you're not beating him. Like he could literally do the most ridiculous shit on television. It doesn't matter. You're not beating him, man. You're
yeah.
gonna get
I
four
mean,
more
look,
years of him.
God
Move
forbid
on.
he goes on TV and tells people to drink bleach to get rid of the
Yep.
coronavirus, and he's still. Wait, did he do that? He hasn't done that, right? He hasn't told people to drink disinfectant.
No,
No.
he doesn't. What are you talking about? He didn't do
God
it.
forbid he says something
No.
ridiculous like that, and people are still gonna vote for him. And so, like at this point, like what's Bernie gaining? Like you're not going to run
Nothing.
again 4 years from now. You're too old for that shit. Your time passed. Your
Yep.
time was in 2016 and maybe this year, and it's gone.
And they
Just
fucked you in that one. They fucked you in this one too, and you move on. That's it.
yeah, just move on. You don't have to support the dude. Like, I get it because he's an independent who's part of it's a weird setup the way that's set up, but there's no need for him to support Biden. Like, you are who you are. Stand by your
No.
values. You don't have to support him. Even if he
Yeah,
does,
like
people
this.
aren't gonna vote for Biden. He's not winning. It's gonna be a landslide, I think, in favor of Trump, even with all this shit going
It's
on.
gonna be one of the worst losses by a Democrat in American hit. Like I'd be like I don't know what like obviously he'll win like I'm assuming like New York and California, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what other true blue states there are. But I can't
Hmm.
see him winning much more than that, bro. Like honestly, like I would
What's
the
that
big that
saying?
would be
What's Biden
that
looks
would be
like?
the bigger upset. That would be a bigger upset than 2016 for me. Like if Biden beat Trump, like if there was a
This.
way I
Oh yeah,
could
for
bet on
sure.
it, and I could like if I could bet on Biden like for the over, you know what I mean? If there was like a betting line and like that was like
Yeah.
it was like 1,800 to 1, and I could put some money down and I could really get myself a really nice bike after, and he
If I wanted to
won, I put
retire
the money
early,
on Biden.
for sure.
Yeah, and I want to retire, move to Panama because this country's going to shit anyway. I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, I retire, hang up, put the jersey in the rafters. You could do a ESPN 30 for 30 on me after I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
But fuck, nah, like, dude, there's no way this guy wins, man. No way at all whatsoever.
Who is his base? Who are the people voting for him? Because we know who's voting for
Uh,
Trump. It's the same people, maybe
white,
even more people that voted for him in 2016. Who's voting for Biden?
white rich liberals, and people that were told, people that listen to the media for their decision making. That's who it is. At the
Yeah,
end of the day,
Biden.
people,
What's the saying? He looks like the lights are on, but nobody's home. Like Biden is not
his
all
brain
there.
is a haunted
Plus
house.
he's a creep, and he's done a lot of. Everyone has. I mean, when you've lived that long, but he's got a track record, and we'll say accusations, right? Because I don't think there's been an actual anything proven, but allegedly he's done all these things. But
Got a
you
bunch of
know, corroborating.
got a bunch of corrupt.
Yeah.
Dude, I could send you. You could right now if you YouTubed it.
No,
YouTube like
I've
Larry
looked.
King. Yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
it's already there. Like the mom called Larry King live in like '97 or some
Uh huh.
shit. I don't remember. Don't quote me on the date. We called it live, and it was like a live call taken, and like nobody on the panel responded to it. They just kind of moved on. But like she brought it up, like almost exactly what happened. So you're telling me a 22-year-old, 23-year-old tape was based on the fact that Joe Biden might win eventually the primaries, which he had never done before in the history of his fucking life, to
Mm-hmm.
like knock him down. That's the shit. Like, and shout out to the Me Too movement being fucking hypocrites, bro. They ain't saying shit. They're staying
Right.
quiet like the little good liberals that they are. Fuck you guys, man.
Yeah.
You've
Is it
taken
because
women back. How about
it's a
that?
Democrat now?
How about
He's a Democrat, and so now they're gonna keep their mouth shut.
Yeah, fuck you, you fucking hypocrites. If you're not gonna stand for women at all times, don't stand for women ever, you fucking assholes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
said it. I don't give a fuck. That's ridiculous, man. I'm a child of a single mother that struggled all her fucking life, and you're gonna shut the fuck up and call people out because they're calling Biden out for shit that actually happened because a woman is telling the truth. Shut the fuck up, man.
Hey, I was
That
all
shit
for
that
when they
shit
were
irks me.
standing against Kavanaugh and the shit that he did, and even though the I can't remember her name, and unfortunately I remember her voice, which was the most annoying part. It
Christine
didn't give her
Blasey,
any credibility. What was
Christine
it?
Blasey Ford. I remember
Yeah, yeah,
Christine Blasey Ford.
yeah. And so look, you whatever you can't count it against her that she spoke a certain way, and she spoke like baby
Yeah,
talk or some whatever it was. Um,
it was very weird.
it was very weird for a grown woman to speak that way. But granted, you don't count that against her. Like as aesthetically, when you're listening to it and watching her, it kind of it's strange. But if he did what he did, and I thought that he did what he did, and you have the Me Too movement and
I,
everyone else standing up for that, why aren't they saying anything now? Is it because he's a Democrat? Like it's just you stand up for women's rights, period, regardless of where it's coming from.
yeah.
So yeah, you are. Yeah, they're
Women's rights
hypocrites,
is
and
it's not political leanings women's rights. It's women's rights. Like it's
yeah,
from Melissa Milano on down. For fuck all those people. They've
yeah,
completely destroyed all their credibility. And again, it's that outrage culture where I'm gonna be more outraged than you because the person that made me upset is who I don't like. Nah, bro, you gotta get mad at the facts, bitch, not the person. A person can
right,
say some dumbass shit. You gotta get mad at what really happened. It's not like if some shit came out about me like 20 years ago and six people still remembered it and corroborated the story that's not coordinated. You know what I mean? What are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like it's not like some wild shit like yo, Ben was planning a bombing or whatever the fuck. Like, yeah, and then this person comes out, that person comes out. There's video of like my cousin calling in the police department saying, you know what I mean? Like
hmm
that's a hell of a con. That's a hell of a fucking con if it's fake. Right? Like that's too much of a plan. Because at that point, Biden couldn't win a motherfucking thing except his Senate seat that he bought with the credit card companies. So eat an
right.
entire bag of dicks. I'm out, man. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out, bro. I'm out. I'm registering as an independent. I can't vote in the primaries, but I'm fucking out of it, bro. I can't do it anymore. I can't. It feels disgusting. It feels gross. That's all I got to say. I like that's it.
That's
I
it.
let it all out. I felt good. Well, not. I got more to say overall in the podcast, but I'm saying like
It
as
took
of
it
as of
took
that
it
rant.
took it took this though for you to not vote. Like this system has been fucked from the beginning. Whether you elect Trump or Biden, the system that wouldn't change. There wouldn't be much of a change. There would have to be a radical change like Bernie, and they've almost, I would say, conspired to keep him from being the candidate because his changes
Mm-hmm.
are yeah, they're radical.
hundred
So
percent. 100%. There's no radical. Here's the truth about it, right? Of the matter. There's no radicalism behind Biden and Trump. It's the same people, right?
they're the same
It's just
person.
the tact. It's just the tact that they go about doing things. One has no tact. One has some tact until his brain shits out. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's very easy to tell.
And then it's entertaining to watch.
And then it says the same. He was just like, just kind of just stares off into, huh? What
Yeah,
happened?
he is.
Okay. It just nothing there. The lights just go out randomly. It's sad to see, but nah, dude. Like you look. Obviously, I've been discussing the system for years. We've talked about it forever.
Yeah.
But just this specific election, like I can't. Like I just I'm out, bro. Like I just for the first like again like for the first time since I've become eligible to vote, can't do it. Can't do it.
Hey, by the way, as
And
soon
it's
as we
not
started
just
talking
the
about politics and Trump and Biden, we lost the viewers. No one wants to listen to
okay,
shit.
no.
They'd rather listen to
Well,
you talk about they'd rather listen to you talk about mountain bikes and how about my wife won't let me
dude,
get an $1,800 bike.
your wife would beat your ass. My dog is under the blankets right now, and can you see my camera move? Like
Yeah.
he's hitting the camera, like he's hitting my stand under the. It's so fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that was it. Like after this, honestly, I think after this little rant and meet, I probably won't talk about this shit again. Like I'm out on it, bro. Like we'll continue to talk about mountain bikes and TV shows and movies and how the Rock's movies suck balls, and we just move on from and you know what I mean, and move on from it all.
But they're really good movies.
No, no, they're not. No, no, they're not.
Jumanji 2?
You shut your whore mouth. You shut your whore mouth. Well, yeah, man. Definitely don't buy an $1,800 bike to begin with, though, John. Take the Walmart bike out, see how you like that on the trails and all that shit, and then figure it out. $1,800 is listen. I'm sure your tax bracket is different than mine because you know what I mean. But no, that $1,800 on a bike is just outrageous to begin with, man.
I'm gonna take Tony with me to find out this mythical $30 Walmart brand new Walmart bike. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I'm gonna take him with me when I go
That's
bike
just gonna have
shopping.
like that shit's gotta like if I was you, if they're open, I don't know how Ohio's doing it now, but if you're doing it with like if you have like an actual bike shop, that's what I would go check out. Like talk to somebody is
Yeah.
the best way to do it. Like tomorrow I'm looking going to the bike shop and talking to somebody again and like figuring out about what bike works for me and stuff like that. So we'll figure it out, man. But
I'm
that's all I'm
honestly not
about now.
going out.
Mountain bike.
I'm not going out till they open Ohio up in I think on the first, or they probably already started opening it up. So I will give it a good 2 weeks. You know, since it's that self quarantine period slash you know it takes a few days to a week for that stuff to for the virus to really start showing in people. So I'm gonna give it some time, but in the middle of May I'll start going out to the bike shops if these numbers don't start climbing back up. Um, and I'll go talk to the owners and like tell them what I'm looking for. And I mean, obviously they're gonna have some expert knowledge, and they're also going to be trying to sell a bike. At the end of the day, like they're in business to sell bikes and make money. Uh, but yeah, it's you definitely got to get out there and talk to these people that are experts that have been probably riding their entire life to see what the
Yep,
best choice for me would be, especially in the area and the kind of trails that are out here.
100%. Yeah, no, definitely, bro. Like it's good to like brainstorm and figure it out and like get a fully informed decision and make sure you're making the right because that's a lot of money to spend, regardless, right? Like it's a lot of money to spend with or without income. So
Yeah.
figure it out from there, man. I'm my brother. I'm good. You got anything else for the show?
No, man, I'm good. I didn't think we were gonna spend 50 minutes talking about mountain bikes.
Dude, but that's become the thing. I'm telling you. And the next time and on Sunday when we do it again, unless we have a guest, we'll spend another 50 minutes because I have more shit that I looked up and more videos that I sent you. I'm all in on this shit, bro. I'm in.
All right.
But yeah,
Hey,
man.
those of you that watched or that are still watching, if you enjoy the show, if you enjoy mountain bikes, if you enjoy Biden having the lights on and no one home, share the podcast, share the
No,
links, share with your
no one enjoys
friends,
Biden.
spread the word. No one enjoys
No,
Biden. You're right. Especially the people that
nobody
brought
enjoys.
cases up against him. Yeah. Share share the
Yeah,
links. Um, just know that Josh Pastor is putting up an OnlyFans page. Again, I want to say he's
yeah.
going to be wearing different onesies: a Mario onesie for fifty
Did we
dollars
say the name?
and a Peach onesie for
We
$100.
didn't say the name. Did we say
What's
the
up?
name? It will the Josh's page on OnlyFans is yes, I'm this white. That's his name on OnlyFans. So that's what you got to look up.
There we go, Josh.
OnlyFans.com back. Yes, I'm this white with a onesie.com.
Yes, I'm this way with a onesie.
All right.
Okay, and all your contributions will go towards Ben's mountain biking dreams. And if there's anything left over, maybe it'll help contribute to my mountain bike. That's all I got. Ben, you got anything?
I got nothing else. Yeah, one last thing. People got to stop saying like like combining the fact that like the coronavirus is the same thing as like car accidents or swimming in a pool and all those other kind of deaths,
That
because
shit's not
none of those things
contagious.
are contagious. It's not contagious. Let's just end it right now. I have nothing else to say after that. A car accident isn't contagious. Nobody sees one and goes, "Ooh, I want one." So let's not. You know what I mean? So Dr. Phil, shut the fuck up, bro, and figure out your lighting game. You're a moron. Again, two assholes on the internet can figure that out.